Hey everybody, it is tip testing week. I am excited to see what you guys have been able to do. And I'm just excited to get some class going here. So let's get started. Let's come to attention. How do you guys feel today? Awesome, sir. Let's bow. And suck position. Student creed. Student creed, sir. Line 1. I pledge to develop myself in a positive manner. Line 2. I pledge to use what I learn in class constructively and defensively. Line 3. I pledge to foster friendships and contribute to my community. And let's bow. Now, first warm-up today. I'm unfortunately riddled with injuries right now. My captain's been bugging me. I cannot do jumping jacks, but the first warm-up today is supposed to be jumping jack sets around the world. So let me tell you what that would be like. The jumping jack set is using 3 different styles. So we've got first regular jumping jacks. You would do 10 of them. Once you get all 10, you'd be moving into shuffle jacks. So cross the legs over, cross the arms. Normally you would jump for this, out and back, right? Every time you would cross the arms separately or opposite leg behind. Again, you do 10 of those. And then finally, the Nordic jacks, or the robot jacks. One arm up in front, one arm low, 1 foot forward, 1 foot back. You would swap, and every other time, so there. That'd be 1, 2, you get the idea, right? So we do 10 of each, and that would be a set. Now around the world means you're gonna do it once facing each direction. So I do those 10 regular, 10 shuffle, 10 Nordic towards you, then I'm gonna turn to the side here, I'm gonna do the same thing. Once I got through those, to the back, and then to the other side, and once I've gotten all 4 directions, or I've gone successfully around the world, then I'd be done with my jumping jack. So, unfortunately, again, I can't do those for the upcoming ones that I can't do, I'll adjust, but I want you guys to pause, go through that jumping jack set as our first warm-up here, and I'll see you in a second. All right, guys, so next warm-up, I should say. The next warm-up here, we're gonna be alternating between 6 push-ups and 6 sit-ups. Now, I cannot do push-ups either, so I'm going to be substituting a plank for about 6 seconds before I flip into my sit-ups, all right? So we're going 1 minute with this one, so let's get down push-up position. Again, quality over quantity. I would rather you have sharp push-ups and do less total sets than to try and rush through it, have it sloppy, and get through a lot of them, okay? But 6 push-ups, followed up with 6 sit-ups. Again, I'm going to be adjusting. I'm going to be doing planks instead of push-ups, and I'll just count off 6 seconds. So let's get started here. 3, 2, and go. I'm gonna hold this plank nice and sharp here. Again, 6 seconds, about 5 and 6. Then I've got 6 sit-ups to do. 1, getting up as high as we can for these. If you can't quite get all the way up, that's okay. Do what you can to work the ab muscles here. There's 6. I'm gonna plank, and this way I can see my clock. Again, I'm going about 6 seconds. You should be doing 6 push-ups. 5 and 6. There we go. Middle. 6 sit-ups. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Plank time. I'm trying to minimize that downtime. Try to keep myself active and not have any time where I'm just resting and waiting. And sit-up time. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, trying to squeeze the abs every time. 5, 6, and plank time. This will be my last set. We're coming up on that minute. 1, and break. Our next warm-up here is going to be a static horse's stance. So we're going to be in a horse's stance. Our goal is to keep it at the same height for the entire 45 seconds. If you'd like to, you can start throwing some punches. If you'd like to review and see, hey, do you remember the striking set or the blocking set we worked on a couple months ago? This could be a good time to practice it too. So, 45 seconds, static horse's stance. Ready? Sliding horse stance. Ready? Set. I'm gonna give it 2 more seconds, and go. Trying to keep it nice and low here. I'm gonna go ahead and review my striking sets. I know for striking set 1, we did palms. Punches. No, number 1 goal is still keeping myself low here. Elbows, I'm not going to go over. I want to make sure I keep these sharp. And there's knee smashes. For level 2s, you guys might remember this, the striking set 2 with the spears. The ridge hands. And then side to side. Striking set 3, do I remember? Tiger claws. bear claws, shudo double short, shudo double short, shudo double long, and vertical punches. And we've got 2, 1, 0 seconds left. Let's hold a little bit lower. 2, 1, get that extra time in, and break. We'll come back up. All right, everybody, I want you guys to stretch a little bit here as we go through our message of the week. The message of the week in classes here is actually hearing about your guys' favorites. If you'd like to include that in a tip video, I would love to hear. But for now, I'll share with you guys one of my favorites. So, my favorite of all time, I believe it was the first one that I ever heard in classes actually, was the Boulder story. The story of the student who's getting ready for a black belt test, and very apt. We've got a black belt test coming up this Saturday. You'll hear about that in the announcements. But a student getting ready for a black belt test. But this test was a little bit different. The one upcoming in our school is actually a lot different than normal too, so very apt. But a little bit different than normal. Instead of doing any martial arts, this student actually just had to push this boulder up to the top of the hill. That was it. And they tried to do this all day long, but they were never able to get it all the way to the top. Right? They tried all these different strategies, every different thing that they could possibly think of, using different resources around them. The entire time, their instructor was just sitting down next to a tree, drinking some lemonade, relaxing in the so at the end of the day comes around, they go over to their instructor, they say, "Master, I can't do this. I cannot get the boulder to the top of the hill." The instructor asked, "Are you sure?" "Yes, instructor, I've tried everything I can. I've used all my resources and I cannot do it. I'm sorry." And the instructor thinks for a second and looks at the student and just says, "You never asked me for help." And a lot of times we get so caught up in what we need to do that, one, we could overlook strategies that someone else could help us with, or two, it may be a job, it might be a task that needs 2 people, right? So we learn from this, hey, it's not, don't be afraid to ask for help. It is okay to need assistance here and there, to go over to someone and say, "Can you help me out with this," right? So again, the Boulder story, do not be afraid to ask for help. One of my all-time favorites. So I want you to think, at the very least, even if you don't put it in your video, I want you to think about what your favorite message of the week is, and think about how you've used it in the last couple weeks or last couple months, right? Always good to go back and do that. So we got some Muay Thai, we've got some Cinco Tiros today, guys, continuing our work from last week and for tip testing this module. So let's jump right into it. All right, we've got some Cinco Tiros going here, everyone. Go ahead and grab 2 sticks, or grab 2 things that are close to sticks, maybe even if that's, kitchen utensils that are a little bit longer than like a regular spoon. For the beginners, I mentioned if you've got a dog and got one of those Chuck It toys, that could be a good substitute as well. And I want to extend the invitation just like I did last week. If you have 1 stick and you'd rather just do some curriculum that is based off of 1 stick, then jump into the beginner and level 1 curriculum video there for their stick work. It's going to be a couple of different twirls, which actually the black belts in the school saw for the first time in a really long time. I would say probably about 2 months ago, maybe 2.5 months ago now. So that is another option if you would like to do that for tip testing, as opposed to with 2 sticks, we're going to be working on some figure 8 twirling. Okay, so if you'd like to do that, jump to it now. If you wouldn't, you'd rather stick with the figure 8 twirling, then keep watching and we'll get to that in about 2 seconds. So knowing double sticks in a wally is a big help for this, although it's not necessary by any stretch, right? We can still do this even without knowing. So I'm going to mirror you guys here. So we've got the right side over here and the left side over there. We're going to start with our right foot forward. I'm going to take my right hand and put it on my shoulder, and my left hand comes across the body, and I'm going to have it tap my ribs here. Now, let me show you 1 full cycle first, and then we'll go a little bit more in depth and a little bit slower on these details. So for the full cycle, figure 8 twirling is going to look like that. One more time. There we go. One big, more popular mistake is missing one of those strikes. If I just tried to move my sticks in the shape of an infinity sign, right? You can tell, like, yeah, it's going in the right motion, but there's these pauses. It's like move, move, and then a break, and then a move, and so it feels a little off. What we're going for is actually a combination of 3 strikes on each side. So, first strike, I'm going to take my top hand, my right hand here, it's going to come all the way across my body and strike down. Now you'll notice that this arm is actually free right now, and the stick is completely able to move. If I don't strike far enough, see how it's kind of staying in front of me here? This stick stays trapped, and I'm not going to be able to do anything. So it's got to come all the way across my body. Now, this next one, I've got my left hand down here. As this one comes through to my shoulder, my left hand is going to strike down with an angle 5 strike. You see that there? So So an angle 5 strike, and then again, I'm going to bring it over so that it's parallel with my other stick. Finally, my right hand is going to do another angle 5. But this one loops all the way through down to my ribs. And you see here, we are now in that starting position that we were in before, just on the opposite side. Let's do it again. Sticks are up here, right stick on the right shoulder, left stick comes across the body down to our ribs. Now, top hand, right hand is going to strike all the way across. And notice, it's not coming towards you, but instead, across the body. Left hand strikes that same spot, right hand one more time. Again, right hand on the shoulder, left hand on the ribs. I strike down across my body, and it's going to come all the way to my shoulder. Now I've got my left hand. It does that angle 5 to that same spot, and it comes to my shoulder where, look, I'm trying to keep these sticks parallel. Finally, my right hand strikes one more time at that exact same spot, and that one is going to loop through to my ribs. Excellent. Now let's do the other side. So I'm trying to make this one continuous motion, so I'm not going to switch my feet at all. I just make sure that I have a stick fighting stance because that's going to make sure that I can get some good hip rotation as we switch sides. So originally I rotated my hips this way a little bit. Now we'll go on the other side, way over there to the right. Top hand here should be your left hand that's on your shoulder is going to strike all the way across the body. You remember what I mentioned about that first strike? We got to make sure it comes all the way across so that this stick is able to move, that it's not trapped in my armpit there. If I don't, then it's going to be tough to continue. So, strike. Now I've got this hand over here. That right hand is going to do an angle 5. Notice I'm hitting the exact same spot. Then it follows through. I've got my sticks parallel, and my left hand was going to loop all the way through the ribs, and I have finished that side. Again, let's say I got the left hand on the shoulder, right hand on the ribs down here. Left hand strikes all the way across. Notice how I'm striking down. Now this hand, same idea. It's not going to loop up, but instead it does this wittick, this angle 5 right here, to strike down. Comes all the way to my shoulders, they're parallel, and then left hand loops through to the ribs. There we go. That completes that full cycle. If we can do all 6 strikes, then we've got our figure 8 locked in, right? Now, one thing that helps is I try to just kind of associate words with it. Whether it's across, and then loop, that's going to help me remember to, first one here strikes across my body or comes to the other side. Same thing here. Notice how it's on the right side of my body. Now I'm going to bring it to the left side. So I go across, and now this one doesn't. It just kind of loops through to the same side. Or across, same. I like loop. Across, loop. Across, loop. I'm not going to say down, all the strikes should be striking down, but it's something that I can kind of think in my head, right? I want to strike down, down. If I miss one of them and they don't strike down, it looks a little off. And you're going to be like, something's happening here and I'm not quite sure what. The goal will be all of them strike down, and that'll get us that looping motion, that figure 8 motion. One more time all the way through. Ready? From this right side, right hand on the shoulder, left hand all the way across to the right rib. Now, right hand first, strikes down across the body, comes through to the shoulder. Left hand is that wittick across to the shoulder. And then one more time, the right hand loops through so that it's on the left side ribs. Other side now, left hand strikes down across the body to the shoulder. Right hand strikes down across the body to the shoulder. Left hand loops through to the ribs, and we have finished up that figure 8 twirling. Awesome work with that, guys. We got some Muay Thai coming our way next. I'll see you in a second. All right, we've got a nice long Muay Thai combo here. We're gonna get through the instruction of it pretty quickly here, and then get a good minute to just drill that combo over and over again. So, from our Muay Thai marching stance, we actually started with 2 jabs. I'm gonna go jab, jab, cross. Follow that up with an elbow, and then we're gonna do a shuffle knee. So remember, the goal of the shuffle is to switch where our feet are without switching our hips or our shoulders to allow us to strike from the side that our opponent or our partner wouldn't be expecting. So right now, you would expect this leg to be the one that delivers a little bit more power, just the way the hips are oriented, right? I can bring that hit around, that roundhouse kick around with a little more oomph. But let's say I saw this side open and I wanted my roundhouse or my knee to be able to come from here. If I can swap my feet without swapping my hips or my shoulders, now this leg is behind me That's gonna be my power strike. So switching the feet, but making sure that the hips do not. If I go here, you saw my shoulders move, you saw my hips move, now you're expecting something from this side. And so I've kind of lost a couple seconds there just by switching my feet. So again, jab, cross, elbow, swap them, but keep my shoulders and my hips, knee. After that, I'm gonna take my other leg, I'm gonna go roundhouse kick. All right, again, we scoot back so you can see the whole combo. Jab, jab, cross, elbow, shuffle, knee, round, and then at the very end, if you'd like to, we can add in that jump turn side or the jump turn back kick that we've been practicing. Up to you, right? If you'd like to add that in or not. Doesn't really matter what side you do it on, right? Let's say I threw this roundhouse kick. Oh, when I set it down in front, then this back leg over here would be kicking. Let's say I do that roundhouse kick, but I bring it back here. Well, now the opposite leg is kicking. So up to you, really. But let's go one more time and then we'll get the full minute, okay? So we got jab, jab, cross, elbow, shuffle, knee, roundhouse kick, and then that optional jump turn back kick at the very end. We got 1 minute. Ready and begin. Jab, jab, cross, elbow, shuffle, knee, round, jump turn. Whew. That one was off balance a little bit. Go at your own pace here, everybody. You can pick one side. You can go with 2 different sides as you saw me switching to the other side there. That's up to you. Whatever you're more comfortable with, whatever you can execute and continue to execute at a high level. Oh. Let's keep these hands up here. Jab, jab, cross, elbow, shuffle, knee, roundhouse kick. Set it down in front. There we go. Jab, jab, cross, elbow, shuffle. Excellent. We got 10 seconds left, everyone. Oh yeah. Jab, jab, cross, elbow. Oh no. That was supposed to be a knee. Ha, there we go. Oh, and break. Nice work. Now that we've had a chance to practice that combo, I want to give us 1 more minute to include it in some shadow boxing. So shadow boxing, you imagine that you're sparring, fighting somebody else in front of you. Imagine you're boxing against a shadow, right? So any Muay Thai moves that you know, whether it's from the combo we just did or from classes prior, right? You're gonna have a different array of moves to pull up from what you know. Let's just have some fun with it, okay? You got 1 minute here, Muay Thai style shadow boxing. Ready, set, and go. Elbow, maybe I know my knee. Maybe I just wanted to throw like a roundhouse kick real quick, right? This is completely up to you. Maybe you remember doing our jab, cross, juke, and cross. Depends how long you've been training. It depends how many Muay Thai sections you've been through. Hooks, uppercuts. Only include stuff that you've worked on in class though. If you've seen something on YouTube, we've seen something somewhere else, I guess with the exception of the karate YouTube channel, right? Don't include it right now, just worry about stuff you've done in class. Jab, cross. I'm gonna juke and cross. Awesome. Jab, 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 cross. Hook, uppercut, there we go. Just kind of moving around, make sure that you're throwing some sharp strikes, keeping the hands up, keeping a good Muay Thai stance. Jab, cross, elbow, uppercut, and break. Excellent job with the Muay Thai today, guys. There we go. Make sure I don't mix up today in Muay Thai. Excellent work with it today. It's been a blast to work on. It is tip testing week this week, so make sure you get those videos recorded and upload it on the Discord here. Or if you can't get to it yet this week, you can always do the makeup next week, just again submit it in the same spot. Other announcements, this Saturday the 5th, there are unfortunately no classes in the school. That's because we have a black belt test coming up. This is actually the first one since last year. We had some students getting ready to test way back in March and April, May time, and fortunately that wasn't able to happen, right? So they got a test coming up, and the only way we can do that is not have classes. So no classes this Saturday, but looking forward to starting a new module next week. So look forward to that, guys. that is it. Let's come to attention, and let's bow out, class dismissed. Choo-ah.